Dear students, welcome to the course Science of Consciousness in Ancient India, and this is lecture 29. Today we are going to continue the same concept which is based on Kashmir Shavdarshan, as we have already gone through the concept of space and time. So today in this slide we are going to discuss the interconnected space and time. Normally when we are moving from one and to another and, that means a stratum. So if you consider Parthiv and the grossest one, so we are in a state when we are transitioning from Parthiv to Prakrit or from Prakrit to Maya and then Shakta, then Shiv. Then according to the movement in the space, stratified space, our time also changes. So because as a concept, more or less the concept of time and space is same in all the whole of the corpus of Indian knowledge systems. But in Kashmir Shavdarshan they have very precisely explained the relationship or interconnection between the time and space. So you can see, like in the first point we have I have mentioned, like though more or less Indian concept of time is described same in all the darshanik and Puranic concepts. Puranic concepts means the Puranas, the literature of Puran, because I told you Puran deals with the longer duration of time. It is having the narration or information about those events which have happened in a longer duration, means approximately one Manvantar or more than one Manvantar. They are belonging to the different Manvantaras also. We have that kind of history in which is available in Puranas. So if you go through the literature of Puran, then you will find the specified mention of the Manvantar, then the Chaturyugi, and then which yug, and then it comes to the date, time and year. This is the way of writing of information available in the Puranas. So that is why I told you that Puranic literature is not a mythological literature. It's the word myth doesn't suit here. Myth because myth represents a kind of imaginative literature which is addressed as Krit. In Sanskrit we use the word Krit to identify that kind of created literature which is based on imagination, that becomes a Kalpanik. But Puranic is not Kalpanik. Puranic means a kind of narration, a kind of corpus which is dealing with the narrations of those events that have happened in a much longer period of time, which can range from one Chaturyugi to multiple Manvantaras also. And in that sense itself, I am explaining you that the concept of time and space is approximately similar in all the texts which are dealing this concept of time in Puran also, in Darshanas also, in other corpus also. But Kashmir Shavdarshan explains this concept of a stratified universe and time which are interconnected in a very precise manner, very clearly. So as explained in Tantralok, you can see Tantralok is a text which is a part of Kashmir Shavdarshan, the corpus of Kashmir Shavdarshan. So Tantralok is explaining in detail, and Tantralok is a very popular corpus. It is having 36 chapters plus one, that is 37th one, describing the beauty of the valley of Kashmir also. So in this bigger compendium, Tantralok explains this stratified universe composed of 36 tattvas, and for a better understanding this can be classified into 3 levels. So first level you can see here in figure 4.56, level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 3 is the grossest level, the level of impure creation or Ashuddha tattvas. So 25 tattvas is starting from Prithvi onwards, moving to the Purush Tattva. These are 25 tattvas. They are being narrated with the reference of the Manav Varsh. So the standard reference structure is the Manav Varsh. That means 360 Tithi become one Manav Varsh. According to that, we exponentially increase the time range for the Jal Tattva, then for Agni, then for Vayu, then for Akash, then Buddhi, Ahankar, and so on. So, the standard scale of measurement is available as Manav Varsh as per the for the level 3, that is the grossest possible level. And once you cross this level of 25 tattvas, so automatically Manav Varsh becomes converted into Divya Varsh, and Divya Varsh becomes the standard of measurement for the time in the second level. And in the second level we find the 3 possibilities. First one, that means one creature is available below the Maya, it is above the Purusha but below the Maya, that means it is in the transitional phase. This after this level 2, level 1 deals with the tattvas of pure creation, that is Shuddha Tattva. So, Shuddha Tattva, Shiva Shakti, then Sadashiv, Ishwar, Shuddha Vidya, these are also embedded under this same level 1, and they are the part of the Shakti Tattva itself. So, here in level 1, the time is calculated as per the standard of age of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Sadashiva, Ishwar, Shuddha Vidya, and according to that we calculate the time. So, this is the structure of interconnected space. That is why you can see in the point in level 1 of the space, which is consisting of the 2 constituents or tattvas, Shakti and Shiva. Level 2 contains Maya and 5 coverings, Maya, Kala, Vidya, Rag, Niyati and Kal. Level 3 is having 25 tattvas from Purush to Prithvi. So, time is also present in the same stratified mode parallel to the space. In level 3, time is derived as the measurement of Kshana to Manav Varsh. So, starting from the Kshana, from Angul onwards when we are measuring, so for particular movement we use the word Kshana. So, from Kshana to Manav Varsh, this is the range in level 3. In level 2, time is measured in the standards of Divya Varsh. In level 1, time is measured in the standards of the age of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, so many tattvas which belong to the Shuddha Tattva. Thus, time and space both are just the constructs, you can see, because it is up to us how we calculate. If we wish to calculate, then we can go on calculation, because calculation Kalan Shakti is based on our own you can say potential, how much potential or capability we have to calculate something, to measure out something. That is why it is just a construct, and it changes according to the level of tattvas of manifestation. The time varies from one point to other in a single level of space, and also from one level of space to the other level of space. So, even if when we are in the same and like in Parthiv and also, we can face this issue, like the time is changing from one point to another point in the same level also. And if we are transitioning from one level of space to another level of space, there would be a transition of the time or change in the time exponentially. So, you can see anything which changes with respect of other, or it is relative, it is not permanent, or it sometimes it disappears. It is available at a particular moment, and after that it becomes unavailable, it vanishes. So, that cannot be said as eternal one. In the same context, we cannot say that time is a kind of thing which is having any eternal existence. No, it is just a construct. It is being created by us because of our power of calculation. Kalan Shakti, our own Kalan Shakti. Kalan Shakti is nothing but our the power of consciousness. शक्ति है, ये शक्ति का एक स्वरूप है. सो कैलकुलेशन, द पावर ऑफ मेजरमेंट और कैलकुलेशन और कलन शक्ति इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर generating this kinds of sequence from 0 to something or 0 to infinity. If you stop calculating something, automatically there would be no time. टाइम का अस्तित्व ही हमारी क्षमता के हिसाब के कारण उपस्थित है. सो इफ वी डोंट गिव आवर पावर्स to, or you can say, like, if we don't invest our calculation power or Kalan Shakti in then automatically time would vanish, there would be no time. आप काल की गणना करना बंद कर देंगे तो काल अपने आप समाप्त हो जाएगा। इसीलिए काल एक प्रकार का मानसिक प्रत्यय है जिसको हम बनाते हैं। हम अपनी एज का कैलकुलेशन रोज करते रहते हैं, इस वजह से हमें लगता है कि हमारी एज इतनी हो गई है। अदरवाइज देयर इज नो इटर्नल एग्जिस्टेंस ऑफ टाइम, इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ कॉन्स्ट्रक्ट, and first it is being created in our mind itself. That means it is ये it's kind of a mental construct. पहले हम इसको मन में create करते हैं। मन की शक्ति, मन के through क्या है, मन, because मन is a bimodal entity, it selects among the possible options available. So automatically if you want to calculate the time, if you wish to feel yourself present at the level of Maya level 2, then your age would be calculated with the reference of the Divya Varshas. That means you have mastered these 25 tattvas, that is from Prithvi to the Purush. Once some creature, some manifested entity is able to manifest one's own powers and crosses this level of Ashuddha Tattva, impure creation, automatically becomes a part of this level 2. So automatically that creature's time would be measured in with the reference scale of Divya Varshas. So it is the power of his or her own consciousness according to which the mental construct of time would work for the individual. So you see, the time is not an internal entity, it is a mental construct and it varies with the potential of the individual also. It is a kind of artificial, or you can say created one, which is none but it is functional just because we provide our powers of calculation to it. So its existence is basically dependent upon our own potential of calculation. According to that interconnected time and space, we have this concept of cognizers, because you see, when I told you that any entity can move from Parthiv to Prakrit, then Prakrit to Maya, from Maya to Shakt, and Shakt to Shiva. So stratified space is having a kind of movement of creatures. Within that space we can move. We can move means our consciousness can move. For example, when we are in a state of vacant, we are restricted to the Parthiv one. At the same particular moment, I cannot be present in another coordinate of time and space. I cannot think like that. But when I am going to sleep, and my consciousness enters into the state of dreaming, automatically my gross body is lying on the bed, but my subtle body is functional. Subtle body is a kind of a structure which is a part of our consciousness, and in which manas is highly functional. So our subtle formations are still available for the functioning, and so we can move, we can see a lot of the things which are right now not in our range. But we can see, like we are flying in the sky, we are moving to with another person, we are meeting that person which is not present with us right now in the present coordinates of time and space. In the same way, when we take a transition from dream to deep sleep, again would be a radical change in our experiences. So see, within a particular time and space, within a particular coordinate of time and space also, our consciousness is able to transit the boundaries of the stages of manifestation, that is Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Turiya and Turiyatit. You can remember that in the beginning I told you there are the 3 deviation states still now, as per the Upanishads, and we have find them like Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti and then Turiya. In the Tantra Shastra, in the Agama Shastra, we have 5 stages. Apart from these 4, we have one more, that is Turiyatit. This is the Turiyatit. That means beyond the 4th, जो आपका तुरीय है, the 4th one, उसके बाद भी beyond the 4th there is something. So in Agama Shastra, we totally have 5 deviation states rather than 3, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. According to Agama Shastra and in Kashmir Shavadarshan, this concept of 5 deviation states is described in detail, and according to that itself, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Turiya and Turiyatit are the 5 deviation states, and in these states our consciousness undergoes. So these are a kind of manifestation also, these are a part of experience also, these are a kind of deviation states also. And according to that, we can understand the concept of cognizer, which is available in Kashmir Shavadarshan, because I told you in the beginning that there are 7 levels of the same cognizer. So, one cognizer can be experiencing 7 levels. And now, in the first point, the cognizers are the least talked ones in the rest of the systems of Darshan Shastra. I explained you, I have taught you the 6 systems starting from the Nyaya, Vaisheshik, Sankhya, Yoga, then Vedanta. This is the 6th one which I am discussing right now. So, till Vedanta you can find that cognizers are the least talked subject, but here in Kashmir Shaiva it is explained elaborately. Consciousness undergoes 5 deviations which are natural stages of manifestation, that is Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti, Turiya and Turiyatit. These 5 states are expressed in all the 7 cognizers, that means 7 levels of cognizers. So, consciousness expresses itself in 35 dimensions. So, if you calculate that the same Sakal Pramata is undergoing 5 states of deviation, in the same way Pralaya Kalpramata is undergoing the same 5 states of deviation. So, each of the Pramata is undergoing the experience of 5 stages. That means, what is happening? 7 levels multiplied by 5 becomes 35, and in Sanskrit we use the word Sapt Panchak. Sapt means 7, Panchak means group of 5. So, you multiply 7 cross 5 becomes 35. So, this is the calculation which is being explained here, that the same consciousness, same cognizer can experience oneself in 35 dimensions. So, 7 cognizers undergoing 5 deviation states becomes available as a concept of Sapta Panchak. And the cognizers again can be classified into 15 categories. This is one concept which is described in detail in Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, and we will discuss in the next slide. After that also there is another concept which says that we can classify the cognizers into 15 categories with reference to the dominancy of the consciousness and the energy, because I told you that this system is having the understanding of Ardhanarishwar, half portion Shiva, half portion Shakti. That means, once you are residing in perfect aloneness, that is I-ness dominates the Shiva Tattva. The moment functionality starts appearing on the canvas, Shakti dominates. Shakti comes on the foreground. So, that is something who is dominating. According to the dominancy also we can classify 15 possible categories of the same cognizer. So, that is understood as Panch Dasya Siddhanta, because Panch and Dasya, Panch Dasya is derived from the word which is available for 15, Pancha Dasya. So, 15, number 15 is used to dominate this concept Panch Dasya. So, there are 2 concepts. One is saying that the same cognizer is available in 35 possible dimensions. So, we can experience ourselves or we can experience our existence in 35 dimensions. And the second concept says, as per the dominancy of the Shiva or a Shakti, we can be classified into, or our consciousness can be available into 15 possible forms or categories. So, this is the Panchadasya Siddhant. So, now we are going to understand this Sapta Panchak in detail, and according to that, if we try to understand the last stage, that is the Shiva stage. See the Shiva stage. In the Shiva stage, when an individual or an identity realizes one's own structure or one's own existence, so it is actually reaching to the peak. So, at that point you can see what is going to happen. The cognizer becomes a self, that is consciousness. The object of cognition is also consciousness, and the means of cognition is also consciousness. So, this triad is dissolved. There is no existence of 3 entities separately. All are merged together to denote a single thing, that is a pointed dot symbol. That is the highest possible level when you are merging yourself with the Shiva Tattva or Param Shiva stage. So, Param Shiva stage is a non-dual entity, because there is no differentiation, that is perfect I-ness residing in aloneness. That is something which is understood as Kaivalya in yoga. And according to that, if we are try to understand this concept of Saptapanchak in little bit detail, then you can go with this slide. Like in the Sakal stage, in the first stage, you can see there are 5 deviation states. In the Pralayakal also the same 5 states, and slowly this is moving towards the Shiva. And if you split this chart one by one with the reference of the experience, in the Parthiv and, this is the first one, in the Parthiv and, we are named as the Swarup Sakal or the Sakal Pramata, and we have all the 3 possible mal, that is the binding constituent, Adav, Kar and Mai. So, our Ichha, Gyan and Kriya, all the 3 powers are highly delimited, and in that stage, when we are in the vacant state, that means our senses are directed towards the cognition of external objects, we are Swarup Sakal or Sakal Pramata. This is the Jagrata state of our existence. Once we transit to the dream state, see, we become Pralaya Kal Pramata, and that is why what we experience, that what suppose you somebody is having a kind of feeling to fight with someone who is much powerful in our potentials, and you know that you cannot fight with that person in the vacant state, in the grossest possible level. But because that feeling of taking revenge with that person is inside of you, once you enter into the dream state, you become Pralaya Kalpramata, and your limitations of one mal would be dissolving. So, you would see in the dream like you have slapped that person, you have taken your revenge, just because your Kriya Shakti is now more powerful. It is crossing the limitations of the binding constituents. So, you become Pralaya Kalpramata. Next stage is Shushupti. When we take a transition into the deep sleep state, we become Vijnana Kalpramata, Vijnanakal. Then the fourth one is the Mantra, Mantresh, Mantra Mahesh, they are residing in the Turiya stage. So, that is why if you are having a practice of recitation of mantra or contemplating on something, suppose you are solving a problem of the mathematics, you are not getting the answer, you are continuously thinking about it, and because you are very tired, your gross body was very tired, so you just slept and you thought like I would wake up after half an hour and then I would start again to solve this problem. But because you are contemplating continuously to solve the same problem, you can access the energy of the Mantra, Mantresh and Mantra Mahesh, that is the Turiya state, the fourth one, and within because of the accessing of that energy within your dream, you would be seeing like how to solve that question. And once you come back to the vacant state, you would be able to solve the problem. This happens with all of us. This is normal experience when we can become able to get the answers of our questions. And after that, we have the stages of Shiva, Shakti, Sadashiv and Shuddha Vidya. So, this is the state of Turiyatita. And if you see, there are subtle stages also, classification of the 3 stages like Jagrat, Swapna and Shushupti. This is available in Tantra or Tantra Lok itself, and it is a part of Agam and Tantra Shastra. In detail, they are being described. Jagrat can be classified into 4 stages, Abuddha, Buddha, then Prabuddha and Suprabuddha. See the 4 possibilities of the Jagrat. In Jagrat also we can be Abuddha, completely ignorant about which class is going to happen, what is going to be taught, completely ignorant, a state of complete ignorance. आपको केवल नींद आती है, आपको केवल सोना अच्छा लगता है और खाना अच्छा लगता है, the last just like a कुंभकर्ण, मतलब आपको और किसी चीज़ में रुचि नहीं है, ज्ञान शक्ति या ज्ञान की ओर आपका आकर्षण नहीं है, तमस इतना ज़्यादा डोमिनेट करता है, वो अबुद्ध स्टेज है. बुद्ध इज लिटिल बिट enlightened. Prabuddha means you are highly attentive. Suprabuddha means you are getting the answers of the questions in the Jagrata state also. So, automatically you are too intelligent, or you can say luminosity is too much to provide you the intelligence. In the dream also, again the Swapna can be classified into 4 parts, Katagatam, Suvikshuptam, Sangatam, Susamahitam. It is also described in Tantra Lok in detail. So, 4 types of dreams are also possible. And then in the same way, Shushupti can also be classified Uditam, Vipulam, Shantam, Suprasannam. So, there are few people who take a very good deep sleep. And there are few people who are not able to feel that kind of refreshment after coming back to the wakened state, and they don't declare all the time that I had a very good sleep. So, Sushupti is also of 4 types, and this is described in detail in Tantra Lok. Moving on to the next level, that is the, if you take a transition to the Prakrit and after Parthiv, one individual has started some kind of practices of self realization, like mantra jap, puja, dan, tap, there are a lot of means to achieve the stage of self realization, or you can say to realize oneself. So, to recognize oneself, there are a lot of upayas, and they would be discussed in detail in the next lecture. But if some manifested entity moves to the Prakrit and, then what happens? Then the type of, or you can say the level of cognizer gets changed. It becomes a Sakal, from Sakal to Pralayakal. So, now you see, in the Jagrat stage, it would be like Sakal or Pralayakal. In the Swapna, the same Pralayakal. In the Sushupti, Vijnanakal, and Turiya, Mantra Mantresh, and Turiyatit would be like Shiva Shakti. Once you enter from the Prakrit and, so I told you, because as per the level of you can say potential of recitation of the mantras, or you can say of using any kind of upayas, you can be Sakal, Pralayakal, Vijnanakal, Mantra Mantresh and Shiva Shakti, or you can be Pralayakal, Vijnanakal and Mantra, Mantresh and Shiva Shakti. You can be like this also, movement, and like this also, as per the reinforced practices the one person can have. कुछ लोगों की मंत्र शक्ति बहुत अच्छी होती है, वो जप करने से अपने आप को रियलाइज़ कर लेने की पोटेंशियल रखते हैं. कुछ लोगों का तप बहुत अच्छा होता है. सो द एज पर द मेथड ऑफ सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन, you can be any kind of, you can touch any kind of level of your upliftment. Once you are in the Prakritan, after the Prakritan, the next stage is the next Maya and, the next space, the stratified space, Maya and. In the Maya and, see, either you would be Pralayakal or you would be Vijnanakal. And if you are Pralayakal, then you, the same stage would be like Pralayakal is in the Jagrat, Vijnanakal is in the Swapna, Mantra is in the Sushupti, Mantra Mantresh is in the Turiya, and Turiyatit would be Shiva Shakti. Or you can say in the Jagrat you would become Vijnanakal, and in the Swapna you would become Mantra. In the Sushupti you would become Mantresh, and in Turiya stage Mantra Mahesh and Shiva Shakti. So, once you cross the Maya and, the same process is going to make you more upgraded. It's a kind of same procedure which you are doing with your systems. Your windows are getting upgraded. So, you are upgrading the level of functionality. The same thing is happening with us, inside of us. Our levels are, level of the same cognizer is being upgraded. If you are touching the Shakta and, then you would become Vijnanakal or Mantra. According to that, Jagrat would be either Vijnanakal, then Mantra, then Mantresh, then Mantra Mahesh, and then Shiva Shakti. Or it would be like Mantra in the Jagrat, Mantresh in the Swapna, and Mantra Mahesh in the Sushupti, and then Shiva Shakti becomes a Turiya, and last stage Shakti becomes a Turiya, and last stage would be the Shiva. After this stage, the next, that means in the Shakta and itself, because in the Shakta and we have Shakti, Sadashiv, Ishwar and Shuddha Vidya, 4 tattvas, and according to that we have 3 levels of cognizer, Mantra, Mantresh and Mantra Mahesh. So, the first was this one, the previous slide, when I explained you in the Shakta and you can either be Vijnanakal or the Mantra in the Vijagrat. The second possibility, if you are moving more and more towards a subtle states, अभी आपने अपनी जो practices है उनको बंद नहीं किया है, you are still in the stage of progression towards the highest level, subtlest level. So, in the Jagrat, either you would be Mantra, Swapna Mantresh, Sushupti Mantra Mahesh, or then Shakti, then Shiva. This is the version. Or you would be like Mantreshwar at the Jagrat, and then Mantra Mahesh in the Swapna, then Shakti in the Shushupti, and now you are seeing this is a Shiva, and after that Shiva has 5 powers. So, Shiva and Shakti together have 5 powers, because after that also if the person is completely determined to realize one's highest level of existence, that is a Shiva Tattva, or that is a Param Shiva stage. So, immediately after this stage, the Shakti, which is having 5 dimensions, Chit, Anand, Ichha, Jnana and Kriya, that Shakti would split in the 5 possibilities. So, you see the next one would be like in the your Kriya Shakti would be Turiyatit, first one. Now, the same process would be applied again if the person is continuously continuing one's own methods of self realization. So, in the Shaktan itself, in the Jagrata state, either it is Mantresh, Mantra Mahesh, and then Shakti, and then Shiva. So, Shakti and Shiva, if the Shakti is going to be splitted, and in that case Mantra Mahesh or Shakti, then Shiva, Shiva and Shiva, and then Shakti Tattva is going to split again from Kriya to Jnana. So, 5 शक्तियाँ हैं, पाँचों split हो जाएंगी. In the next stage, once you are reinforcing yourself to touch to the highest stage, that is of the Param Shiv, again the same the process would continue, Kriya, then Gyan, then Ichha, then after Ichha there would be Anand, and then last would be the Chit. So, you see, if you continue the same process, then again there would be the same Mantra Mahesh, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, then Ichha Shakti, and then Shiva Tattva. Or the second possibility would be like you are entering into the Shiva and, the last possibility, Shiva and. Once you are entering into the last stratified space or the level of space, that is the Shiva and, your Kriya Shakti would be in Jagrat, and your Jnana Shakti would be in Swapna. Shushupti would be representing your Ichha Shakti, and Turiya would be representing your Ananda Shakti, Turiyatit would become your Chitta Shakti. See, according to this structure itself, we have all the narrations available in the Puranas. For example, Kriya Shakti dominates in the Jagrat, तो सृष्टि होती है. ये किसका क्रिया है, कार्य है? सृजन करने का कार्य के लिए हमने किस आइडेंटिटी को नॉमिनेट किया है? Metaphorically in the Puranas it is being written like the Brahma is responsible for the creation or the manifestation. So, the Kriya Shakti dominates in the Jagrata state, that is why so many manifested entities come into existence, and Vishnu is supposed to maintain that creation, sustenance. So, the Jnana Shakti which is available in the Swapna is responsible for the sustenance, and that is why metaphorically in the Shastras it is written, in the Puranas specifically, that Yoga Nidra of Vishnu is responsible for the sustenance of this creation. And when you are touching Ichha Shakti, that is dealing with the Shushupti of your Shiva and, that means you have the desire to create or to destruct, both kind of desires, and that is representing the Sanghara Swarup of Rudra, Shiva Tattva. Turiyatit is your Ananda Shakti, ultimate happiness, unending bliss, and intelligence, pure luminous intelligence is Chitta Shakti, that is touching the Turiyatit. And this is how our energies touch the different stratums of the creation of space and time. So, on the basis of this understanding, we can have few questions. For example, if you are being asked like explain the concept of interconnected time and space in brief, then you can write the interconnection of the time and space in the 3 levels, level 1, level 2, level 3. And if you are being asked like describe the concept of Saptavid Pramata, then it would be like Saptapanchak, Saptavid Pramata oblique Saptapanchak. It can be like a short note also, Saptapanchak. So, it can come like write a short note also. You have to write the same concept of 35 dimensions. That means 7 cognizers multiplied by 5 stages and 35 dimensions. We can have few fill in the blanks like time and space both are just a construct and change according to the level of manifestation. Consciousness undergoes deviations which are natural states of manifestation, 5 deviations as per Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. So, this is as per Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. Consciousness expresses the natural states of manifestations are Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Turiya and Turiyatit. 7 consciousness expresses in 35 dimensions. 7 cognizers undergoing the 5 derivation states. This concept is known as Sapt Panchak. Sapt Panchak. This is sufficient for this lecture. Thank you.